Hey everyone, welcome to the Leeds View podcast for the first podcast of this week. We do these twice a week as well as daily Leeds United news. We're part of the Sports Social Podcasting Network and we do watch alongs and we'll be doing watch alongs for the World Cup over on bigup.com as well. We are partnered with OK Jersey, 8% off World Cup shirts for a World Cup summer. You can use the code TView in your shopping basket. Links for that are down below in the description, along with all of our other affiliate partners. One of these weeks, I'm going to get through that intro without falling over my tongue. Delighted to be joined by Gerry and Paul to have a chat about this week's news. And we're also going to have a little chat about the predictions that we did about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago now at this stage, and see how we got on with that. That'll be at the end of it. We are going to talk about Leeds United summer plans that have come out via The Athletic, as well as a couple of little smaller Leeds United topics with it as well. But Gerry's back from his Holly Bops, so we'll check in with Gerry first and see how he's doing. How was your post-season trip, Gerry?
It was great. It was hot. It was... Yeah, it was great. I left 40 degrees in Spain today and come back to rain. It is. And I come back to moles. My garden's been attacked by moles. They're big man. So anybody got any things I can do about moles?
Dynamite.
Apparently, yeah. Sonic
dynamite, yeah.
You can put sonic spikes in the ground, I've heard, but I trap it's war. Someone said, oh, the poor little thing. It's war. I saw a big snake. Did you see that snake that I saw in Spain?
I did, yeah.
I did.
His name, Declan, I think was his name. But, it was.
There it is.
And he was a very sad-looking one, yeah. God, did you see the pain in his face?
1 minute.
It was lovely. And I love that referee who blew the whistle at half-time for the corner, yeah. I come back to a poorly dog who did the... I best not go into detail, but it wasn't good. A bit messy, but I wasn't here for it. Yeah, and big news today. Sky Sports. England got on the plane, they flew to America, and they got off the plane. And wow, it's been a slow news day. But the thing that warmed my heart most, did you see the Uruguayan squad being announced?
I loved it.
Incredible.
Loved it.
And it was him. What a brilliant way of doing it. Yeah, I
did not know how much my soul needed to see Marcelo Bielsa on a bike. No, it was just
turning around, nodding the head and saying, bueno.
Yeah. So we're all here. I mean, I've got ancestry in Uruguay. I've also got ancestry in Ghana and Croatia and Panama. Panama has a hat. England are playing a hat in the group stages. Yeah, they do, yeah. So, but there's a big one this week. It's Ireland v Canada this week, so everybody's talking about that. So, yeah, I had a good holiday. It was a nice break. Nice to get away from football. Although, why did the Champions League final kick off at 5 o'clock? Because I was nearly set to watch it at 8 o'clock.
I missed it. I turned it on at the start of extra time, and I was like,
yeah. Oh, you didn't miss much.
Yeah. They started it at 5 o'clock because had they started it at 8 o'clock, everybody would have been asleep by roughly speaking around about 8:45. So
did I see 700 arrests or was it 70 arrests?
700.
Yeah, there was a bit of trouble afterwards.
I've seen some videos of Arsenal fans walking through and the PSG fans just giving them absolute pelters. But yeah, fair play to the Arsenal fans and just walking and just singing it along. I mean,
they all just dropped into a low block and stood their ground.
Pretty much, yeah. That was the absolutely amazingly official game plan. The lowest percentage possession since records began. And do you know who held that record before?
Yes,
it was Arsenal in 2006. And do you know why it was that low? Because they only had 10 men on the pitch. This time they did it with 12, 11, if I can count.
Well, when I switched on, the first two things I saw were Thierry Henry, and I thought, no, I'm switching over for that. And then Declan Rice getting a lovely message from Jared Bowen, so I switched off and watched something else for a while. The coverage was bad. It was so biased. I mean, Ali McCoy, he's not a comedian. They're not funny. Just comment on the game. So I switched over to RTE because much better. I just TNT. It just does me head in. And I think the other funny thing I find at the moment is people who aren't covering the World Cup are trying to big it up as much as they can, but you haven't got any matches, so it's really funny at the moment. But I'm gonna start watching, and I'll be watching Uzbekistan against Jordan or whoever it is at 3 a.m. Well, maybe not 3 a.m, but I'll be there. I'll be watching it. Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah. Well, we got some people to follow this year. We've got Alexis McAllister with Argentina. I'm assuming he's in the Argentinian squad. He might not be, but he is of the Donna Bate Ireland McAllister's. So, it's there's our connection to it. There's no Irish players in the England team, so I won't be following them.
And there is, but yeah.
At least half the side.
There's four of them. We got your man, the Shamrock Rovers player in the Cape Verde team, haven't we, as well? What's his name? Pico, whatever his name is. Yeah. So, yeah, but Harry Kane used to spend his summer holidays with his Irish granddad in Galway. I'm not joking. He did. Yeah. And Jude Bellingham's got an Irish passport. Just saying,
And if anyone says, well, you took loads of UK-based players during Jack Charlton, they weren't the same level. These were lads that England weren't picking. These are guys we wanted. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going down that road tonight.
It just so happens that they did very, very well at the World Cup. It's that simple. Just leave them to it.
But yeah.
Anyway, how are you, Paul?
I'm great. I know I am. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm fantastic. I've got new toys, new microphones to be playing around with. So I'm a typical bloke. I love a gadget. I am missing football quite extensively at the moment. I'm struggling, to be honest with you. I've tried my hand at different bits and pieces. I did an informative video today on how to spot a decent transfer. Bit of information.
Unfollow Football Insider. Done.
Pretty much, yeah. Just ignore everything Football Insider says, because that's the right way of doing it, and listening to the right people. But yeah, I've had a request from somebody on my channel just saying on TikTok saying it'd be really interesting to get coverage of the Leeds United players who are playing for the certain teams, like for Japan, for Sweden, all that kind of stuff, and just to report on them and how everything's going. So I'm going to look into trying to do a bit of that at the same time as well. But other than that, mate, I'm good. I'm very, very good. I'm not going to complain about being tired. I've done that already today. So technically I have just complained about being tired, but without complaining about being tired. So there you go.
He has, I can confirm. Yeah, he definitely has. But yeah, good. It's very warm here at the moment. Ireland's doing its usual thing of it's winter. No, it's the depth of summer. No, it's winter again. Actually, it's spring. Yeah, we've had gale force winds, rain, and now it is currently burning a hole through the window. So
same.
Yeah, we've had all 4 seasons.
We've had thunder and lightning. We had
thunder yesterday, yeah.
Very, very frightening indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bit of stuff to talk about. Not a huge amount of. We'll get the little small bits out of the way first. So first off, congratulations to James Milner on his retirement from football after a fantastic footballing career that started off at Leeds United. Played the most amount of Premier League games of any player. Yes, he didn't get the minutes record bench warmers, but he did get the appearance record.
There we go.
It's late. I'm warm and it's late. Yeah. So well done, James Milner. Great career, Paul. Great career.
Oh, unbelievable. 24 seasons consecutively is incredible by any stretch of the imagination. I talked about it when I spoke about it a couple of days ago, and a lot of people will still laud Rooney for his achievements and what he did. But James Milner is the perfect example of living the right life and doing the right things to enable your body to do 24 consecutive seasons in the Premier League, because it is the roughest, toughest, meanest, fastest, most demanding league in the world. I remember his goal against Chelsea. I remember just when he first came onto the scene. I remember the Nike 90s, total 90s boots that he wore. All of that, just everything about him. But literally born just down the road from me. But just the consummate professional. Never courted controversy. Was never in the news. Just loved the game, looked after himself, and just got on with playing football. And that's just brilliant to see. Obviously, we're not now going to get the fairy tale that we all wanted, which was to see him come back to Leeds and play again at Leeds. It was lovely that he mentioned us first in his little statement that he made and made reference to everybody else. But just, you can't do anything other than applaud him. You know, like I said, with regards to Rooney came along later but finished earlier. Not living the right life for a football player. Ronaldo might get some kicks for this, but Ronaldo hasn't done 24 consecutive seasons in the hardest league in the world. Yeah, he's played in other leagues, but he still
looked after himself, and you can't say. I mean, he is the most insecure football in history of football, but he has looked after himself.
Oh, I'm not saying that he's. I'm not saying that he's bad. Just he's not as good as James Milner for longevity in the Premier League, as far as I'm concerned.
And even if he was, still wouldn't be. So
well, you don't get picked. You don't get picked by Guardiola in your late 20s and then Klopp once you're in your 30s to play those games unless you are physically fit and reliable.
Top managers, managers. What a player! I mean, he looks like granite, doesn't he? He still does. And I was listening to, we were talking about him last night. He played left back, right back for Liverpool. He just did what he was asked to do. I love the way he embraced the boring James Milner parody, because he embraced it as well. And I just thought that just shows he's got, and it's brilliant. It's one of the funniest, I think, Twitter accounts. He breaks that long run. You probably heard the stats of since 1955 right through till the end of this season, at least one player who played under Bobby Robson played in the top division. So, he obviously played, he was the last he played. So someone from 1955 played when Bobby Robson was manager, which is incredible. But 24 years is at top league. And he probably still could go on, actually. I don't doubt it, but finish at the top. He's played for some of the top managers and top teams.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. And if we'd had him now at 16, he probably would have stayed at Leeds forever. Because I remember at the time he was the poster boy when we went down, and we thought, great, this guy, and they had to sell him. So it was unfortunate. But he's always, I think, from anything he ever heard, he was always a Leeds fan. He always had the respect of Leeds. There's never ever any animosity or anything. So fair play to the lad. There's very few. You talk about Ronaldo and Seamus Coleman. These consummate professionals, just are, and the respect they get. So there's not many of them keep going, but it's a shame. But he's 41. Come on, James. Put your feet up and have that cup of tea and test your biscuits or whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
Ribena, isn't he? He said he's going on a Ribena testing tour of Europe. I'm not sure if that was him with the parody.
But that's the strange thing about it, isn't it? It's usually defenders that have that longevity in terms of football and when they're playing and everything. It's very, very rare for attackers to have that longevity within football. And he's an attacking footballer and he's done that. Yeah, he's played in hybrid positions and stuff, but just what a guy. What an absolute guy.
The other person to give congratulations to so far is Pablo Hernandez, who's Castellon's side, who managed to qualify for the playoffs to get into La Liga. What a job he's done since he's taken that team over from struggling in the league to getting them right into the playoffs. They'll play Almeria in the semi-final of that. So, Pablo's done a remarkable job. You never know. And also, I wanted to actually meant to say about Milner as well. Gerry, you mentioned about playing for some of the best managers in football. You look at Jose Mourinho and he talks about what he learned from Bobby Robson when he was at Porto with him, I think, when he was there. That's when he started off with him. And you talk about that. You look at James Milner, Bobby Robson, Klopp, Pep. So if he ever decides to go into management, you'd love to know what he's picked up from those guys. And then Pablo as well, bringing it on to him. Pablo's already started his managerial career, and what a job he's doing so far as well. So, well done to the lads.
Our next two managers. You never know. I drove near Castellon last year, and I was very tempted to go and pay homage to the man. Yeah, what a player! But I think Milner, he'll end media or manager. He'll end up somewhere. So he'll be well regarded. And just to mention as well, talking about managers, it's sad news yesterday about Kevin Keegan. He's struggling a bit at the minute. He's
stage 4 cancer. Yeah,
and I grew up Keegan from the 70s with Liverpool. Now, what a player he was. And ironically, the man who replaced him at Liverpool, Kenny Dalglish, reported today he's got a bit of a battle as well. But I remember with both Liverpool players, and they were absolutely incredible and right through their careers and as managers as well. So all best to them too. They're absolute legends.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Keegan played football the right way. Loved his style. Played Newcastle, the entertainers during his time there as well. Those games against Liverpool, specifically that back-to-back years. Those was 4-3.
Not a great singer though. He released some records.
You remember the Collymore goal, which just made him just.
He just slumped over the board. Yeah, great stuff. Yeah. So
if you play your last game ever and leave the pitch via helicopter, that's what he did at Newc. I think they were playing down at Southampton. That's the way to do it. I want to do that when I finish playing. Yeah, just leave in a helicopter. We've all done that.
Your five-a-side pitch and you going off in a helicopter. It's a bit excessive for a five-a-side area.
It'll be a zip wire probably. Yeah. Anyway,
that's right.
I don't want to see that.
Other news: Jayden Leno called up to the Welsh first team for their friendlies. Fantastic. Craig Bellamy said that when a gap emerges, why not call him up? He's ready. Give him a crack at it now. He's still only 18 years of age. It's a cracking season for the Leeds United under-21s. Came to Leeds last season from Manchester City's FAU Cup winning team, which he played in as well. So there's good pedigree there. He's been training with Leeds first team on and off all throughout the season as well. So that'll be an interesting one to see what his summer looks like when he comes back to League. I wouldn't jump on that and say, oh, well, he's playing for Wales now. He should be in the Leeds first team. Bellamy has a habit of doing this. He did it with Charlie Crew as well. So, you know, give them a little bit of time. But
he sent a lot of people to a lot of his backroom staff to watch him play in the under-21s as well, hasn't he? So he's made a point of really hammering down on him. And, you know, you never know, that could be the left back that we need as cover for Goodmanson.
Yeah. I think it means you could bring in an older left back and then have him in a year or two behind him, as well. But
correct.
I mean, he's very good one-on-ones, physical player, likes to tackle, can get up and down the pitch as well, can get a goal. They're talking about the similarities between him and Gabby Goodmanson, and Dan James has said he's fantastic player and definitely one to watch. So, good couple of them in that crop of 121s this year as well. So they've got a bit of time.
It'd be nice to see a young player break through, because the fact we didn't have a young player of the year this year was telling. But we got 2 or 3 there.
Just to counter on that point, because people have been using that online to have a go at Farker and the fact that that's just his indictment of how he looks. Looks after youth players. We didn't field a player under the age of 30 last season. So
over the age of 30.
Over the age of 30 last season. So there's a lot to be said for why.
That was the strategy was experienced players 26 to 28 and get them on the pitch. So they've got to bring a couple of young boys through as well. I think that's
we have to for the quota anyways. That's because that's coming into force. So we're going to have to anyway.
I don't think that comes in. I
think
that has. I know UEFA and FIFA want it, but it has to at least be modified, because what they're saying is an under-21 local homegrown player must be on the pitch at all times. What happens if they're injured? What if you've got one on the pitch and one on the bench and they both get injured? Then what do you do? I mean, you know what I mean? There's nuances and minutes to that needs to be fleshed out.
I imagine it's just the squad. Just keep Sam Byron. Yeah, just keep him.
Speaking of rules, I know you talked about it, Jer, with the IFAB thing and the keeper rule that they're going to be putting into the World. We're going to be putting into the World Cup. But have you seen how long they're giving you to do a throw-in now?
5 seconds.
5 seconds, and if you're not done, it gets switched round.
Yeah, you didn't have to do want to be sprinting.
Yeah,
ball boys trained to throw a ball into him again.
Yeah, it'll last about 5 minutes, like all the other rules. Yeah,
I was gonna say 10 seconds for a goalkeeper's kick out, 5 seconds for a throw in. Although we have already seen the 10-second substitution rule against Japan this week, where the player didn't get off the pitch in 10 seconds. The referee went, no, sub can't come on for 60 seconds now, and Japan scored during when the opposition were down to 10 men. So again, Gerry, the issue is always, you just said it there. Will these be implemented in the Premier League when they come in?
Stick to us.
Probably not. Yeah. The other rule has been labelled the anti-Arsenal rule, which is now that VAR can intervene if there's pulling and dragging or foul committed before a ball comes into play, which will stop the corner stuff. Yeah. So, it's not a Declan Rice rule. It's just a fully Arsenal rule, Gerry.
They should call it the Declan Rice rule just for Gerry.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He does.
So that's that stuff out of the way. We are going to talk about the summer plans. That's the bulk of today, and we'll get to the prediction stuff then towards the back end. But the interesting piece in The Athletic today from Baron Cross, lads, and it's kind of Baron Cross has got very good sources that will remain nameless in order to support and protect, blah, 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 as he says.
Adam Underwood.
Adam Underwood. Yeah, Adam Underwood. I got the exact quotes here. I'm going to get my notes here. Yeah, so basically what Leeds are looking at is an overhaul of the attacking part of the pitch this summer, which I think is what we all thought Leeds needed. They're looking for a 10/playmaker. They're looking for a striker. They're happy with the midfield. They're possibly happy with the goalkeeping situation. There are a couple of caveats on this. But as far as they're concerned, they reckon that Leeds will spend more than they bring in. And they won't be buying 10 players like they did last year. It'll be, again, strategic. Which, again, Paul, I don't think they really needed to bring in more than 4 or 5 players in that first team this year and just up the quality in that side.
No, I agree massively. The spine of the team, or the nucleus of the team, is very, 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 very good. What we're missing is that that little bit of devilment, that little bit of attacking prowess, that little bit of
magic.
Magic, a Harry Wilson perhaps to come in that can come and do certain elements of things. Yep, we need the left back cover. Yep, we need a centre back cover. I think the keeper situation is going to sort itself out over the summer. If you were to ask me directly, I'd say Darlow signs an extension, and it's between Perry and Darlow just to work out what's happened. I think I think I mentioned it before we came on air, where it could be the Perry redemption act that we've all been waiting for. But I would expect more players, fringe players, to be going out during the summer. And I think what you might see is just getting that level of the squad. The base level is already really, really good, in my opinion, with the players that we've got. But I would expect now that there would be a raising further in terms of skill set, in terms of attributes, in terms of those players that can. Because this is the thing, Okafor, for me, I said it. Had he not been injured for that month, we would have been safe a hell of a lot early. We could have been higher up the league. You need more players like him, and Calvert-Lewin said it about him when he saw him, how quick his feet were, how direct he was. It just took him time to get used to the Premier League. But yeah, give me a striker, give me a number 10, give me a winger, and then the 2 defensive positions, and I'll be a happy bunny this summer, an absolute happy bunny this summer.
Yeah, Gerry, the ones that seem to be standing out are 10, 9, left back, maybe a centre half. That seems to be the ones they're calling out in this. Happy with the midfield unless somebody leaves. The reason for that is Ilya Gruev is out of contract next year. Aronson, Mecca and Gruev, it's unclear what the plan is, whether they want to sign new deals, whether the club want them to sign new deals. But the bare minimum is if a new deal isn't signed by those 3 players, one way or the other this summer, that they will likely leave the club as well. And Strauch, it's all on him. If he wants to stay at Leeds, they want to sign him to a new deal. If he doesn't want to stay, Leeds will sell. So you're getting a clear picture of who the obvious outs are going to be. It looks like contracts are going to be something that's dominating the summer transfer window. And then we have an idea of the 4 or 5 positions they want to improve on, which I think, again, are the obvious ones that we've all been talking about.
Yeah, strategy. Wow. How did we discover that? Go over the years, not just Victor Orta's phone or just buying players from Portsmouth, which we did one year, just everybody. No, that seems to be sensible. And we said the last pod, it's business sense. If there's players you're going to lose on free and you can get money in for them this year. All those players, Brendan, Gruev, Pascal, well, they're all favourites. You like seeing, you want to see them do well, but football is transient, so that would be sensible. And I think towards the end of the season, we saw. The squad, we were lucky with injuries, and the team played well. But when we were safe, whether it was players just thought, I've been playing through pain or what, but 4, 5, 6 players dropped out, and we looked bare then. So we got to make sure that the squad, while we bring the quality in, that we've got the numbers as well to get us through anything. So be important. One of the things talking about transfers made me laugh today. Did you see the transfer of the season was the Man United goalkeeper, Lamens? That's what they've chosen. Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin was 8 or 9 on the list, I think.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, he went from being injured, free transfer, a bit of a joke, to edge of the England World Cup squad, and what did he get? 14 goals in the end?
14.
14, so anyway, I don't think I'm being biased, and I think most people will. I just thought Lamens.
I did scratch my head a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but it was. And,
you could argue Stack as well.
Yeah, that's it. And Justin as well. I'm sure he must have been in there. So yeah, we just got to bulk up the squad a bit, and we're going to lose players. And a lot of the loan players, don't see them coming back in. We need to lose them off. Jackie, you were great on to be else, but it's time. We hopefully we can get some cash for you, and you can enjoy yourself in Italy. And as Paul says, the goalkeepers, sensible. I think Perry showed that he's got something. It was a big shock to his system probably coming after one good season in France, Brazilian, to adapt. Players, we forget players are human beings as well. And he did enough to show that there's something there. And I think Darlow is consistent and he's done well. So there's no, I'd be silly to disrupt that really, when I think a lot of clubs would take Darlow. It'd be interesting just to see what shape. I was scared when somebody mentioned Ampadu on his way to you do tell me that's rubbish, and that's one of those those football insider jobbies or whatever. So
30 million apparently for his left foot.
Yes,
because that's all they get for it. Crazy.
Why would he go to Villa?
Let me put it this way: if West Ham are considering selling Fernandez for 80 million from the Championship,
yeah, exactly.
I'll take double that then for Ampadu in the Premier League. Thank you very much.
It was a Team Talk article, Jerry, but they also did confirm that Leeds want to keep him and he wants to stay. So
it shows you how transfer, a player that is top money this year and a year or two down the line, stock can drop. And I see Calvin is on his way to probably Sheffield United, and there was talk that they wanted 400 grand or something. I don't know if that was just paper talk. It's sad. I want to see Calvin do well, but he's been so unlucky with injuries and everything. He played 3 times Sheffield United, so he needs to come back. But it just shows you how things can change very quickly and how you can't sit on your laurels, which we did the last time a bit, and that's why we got relegated. So it's building. And forget what everybody else does. You see, if somebody pays 80 million for West Ham, let him get on with it. Just blow your money. I think we showed last year good recruitment, but one bad year might make a difference. It's going to be very interesting. All these new managers and everything else coming in, bit of disruption, lots of Europe. So we got to be well prepared.
Nine English teams in Europe next season, which means the amount of Friday night, Monday night, Wednesday night games are going to be horrific next season, and it's going to play a huge part. You've mentioned it about the managers, the new managers that are coming in. You've got Glasner that's left. You've got Marco Silva that's left. You've got a new manager going into Iraola going to Liverpool, which I don't think is going to be too much of a transition for him, but. There's a lot of change and a lot of moving around and a lot of uncertainties that are going to be going on in the Premier League next season. That it's could be interesting to see how it all works out. Definitely.
Yeah. Although Southampton are keeping their manager, aren't they? Let's see today.
Oh,
do you know the first game of the season on Friday night on Sky is going to be Southampton away at Middlesbrough. It's going to be, isn't it? And then followed by Rob Edwards Wolves. Yeah, it's hilarious.
The statement that Southampton made.
They should have done it.
And it's just like, no, lads, the word you're looking for is sorry.
Yeah,
yes, that's it.
Sorry.
Yeah, we messed
a black social media post with sorry in white writing and the Southampton crest, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's all it. Just move to make.
And we go again.
I think it's undermined him so much, Eckhart, because. Regardless of what he's done, making him sit down in front of a camera and essentially apologize publicly to everybody. And I know people will say he should do it. In a footballing world and what dressing rooms can be like, I think it takes a lot of the wind out of his wings. And
he should have styled it out and just
there's a lot of those players that aren't going to be there next season anyways, because there was a lot of banking on them going up as well. So it's tough to work in an environment.
Buy Finn Azaz from there. The rescue, he'd be great. Yeah.
Oh God.
What Finn?
I'm not a fan of Finn. A Champo player. Okay, so Paul, then let's look at the other ones. Leeds are happy with the middle of the park, and they have confirmed a couple of things. Danilo Doki is no longer a player that they're interested in. He was, they've confirmed he was, but then but they're not pursuing him at this moment in time. And Hidemasa Marita, which Graham Smith had already poo-pooed, and that's gone. So that's off the list. And they have said that Harry Wilson is a live target for Leeds, as he was last summer. Leeds want a left-footed, right-sided 10. And Harry Wilson is what they're looking for. And they've got competition. Villa, lots of clubs are interested in him. But he does seem to be a priority target. And again, if you're looking at smart money, that's a freebie if you can get it. Silva's leaving Fulham as Jerry told us, off to Benfica. So there's no connection to Fulham there from anymore right now. So he's up for grabs. And then of the loanees, Harrison, Ramazani, Vober, Schmidt, no part to play in the club moving forward. So they'll be looking to move them on this summer. What are your thoughts on
that? Harry Wilson would be one of my top targets this season. I think the season that he had last season was just brilliant. He was, I think he really, really raised his game up a huge level. I think, there's probably going to be not bigger clubs, but clubs that could maybe potentially offer him a little bit more that will be coming in for him. However, don't underestimate the pull of being able to play with your Welsh brothers. don't underestimate that pull, because that could be huge, because we've got a lot of them in our team, and they do, you know, fantastically well. Ramazani, he was, for me, he was always going to go at the end of this season, regardless of what some people think of him, what his capabilities are, everything like that. He did a couple of wrong things that Farke didn't like, and we know how that works out with Farke. If you don't do the things that you're supposed to do, then that's it.
I wouldn't say wrong, but I would say things Farke doesn't like.
Yeah, okay, things Farke doesn't like, but that's just something that people will be able to pin to the, you know, Farke doesn't know how to work with players kind of rule. But it just depends on whether or not we can get the money that we want to get for certain players, whether or not we're willing to let them go, not at cut price rates, but just rates just to get them off the book. So a Jack Harrison, a Woba, just getting them gone, just so we can not have to worry about from the money aspect anymore.
Somebody did point out, I think Jack Harrison's owed like 9 million quid from Leeds if they were going to cancel his contract. So he's not walking away from that.
Why would he?
I mean, he'd be mad. Why would you?
As I said before, that time they had him signing for Leicester, sent him down, and then come back and give him a contract. You know, what's he supposed to do?
People do forget about that. They do forget that we absolutely shafted him against Leicester. Like, really, like the old.
People talk about loyalty, Paul. He's technically fulfilling his contract.
Well, he is. Well, Mellier's done exactly the same thing as well, hasn't he? So it's that fulfilling your contract in the way that it works. I mean, one of the things that we did touch on with regards to potentially buying new players this summer period is that maybe the club have got a little bit more credit in the bank with and we said it before. I said it before we came online, with the risk that they took with not doing anything in January. So that pads out the book a little bit for them in terms of what they can afford and what they can get. And I'm not sitting here and saying that the board are the be all, the end all, they're amazing, they're incredible. They took a calculated risk, and this season it's paid off. It's paid off, and we finished 14th. Now that means that we have the potentially a little bit more in the coffers to spend. Maybe that's me speculating. That's not news, anybody. That's just me speculating. And it means that we're doing it in the summer period as opposed to the January period, where the market's a little bit fairer, as opposed to the January period where you end up paying 50 million for a Strand Larsen. So
it's a seller's market in January. It's a buying market in summer. Yeah,
correct.
So, it is. It's interesting. It is interesting. That central midfield area, Gerry, they're happy with it. No major changes, not expecting. So your Hackneys and your Maritas and your other players that have been linked with Leeds look like they're all paper talk at this moment in time. Unless, as they say, if it's a case that they decide they don't want to offer Ilya Groove a new contract, or they do want to offer him a new deal and he doesn't want to sign it, then he would probably leave this summer, and then they would look to bring somebody else in. Same applies to Brendan Aronson as well. So they're the caveats on that. So if they can't sort out contracts with those two, they won't be here next season. And then you might see the midfield change slightly. But outside of that, they're happy with Stack, Longstaff, Ampadu, Tanaka, and then maybe even Charlie Crew in there as well, if he can get back on the fringes of the side as well after the poor season.
Or just get a time machine and sign Pablo from 10 years ago. Or creative. Can you imagine a creative number? We use him at number 10 or whatever. Just some bit which will upgrade from Brendan. Just someone who doesn't fall over a lot, bump into things, but somebody creative. And is he out there? Is he in the Premier League? Is he in the Championship? Yeah,
of course he is. He's out there somewhere. We just need to figure out who he is and how much he's going to cost. So
hot off the press, if anybody's interested, just with Sky Sports, Ibrahima Konate expected to sign for Real Madrid after confirming Liverpool exit. That's coming direct from Sky Sports.
Wow.
Talk about failing upwards.
He is poor. God.
The weakest link in that Liverpool side last season is going to Real Madrid.
Liverpool fans must be laughing their heads off. That's incredible.
What a deal.
Although he's free, isn't he?
He's free, so you don't have to worry about wages.
I think they would have paid. Yeah. I'm just looking at the Welsh team for tonight to play in Ghana, and we got all 4 players are in the team.
Of course they are.
James Rodon, Bampadu.
Yeah, because Bellamy will flog the life out of them. Why not call it tomorrow? There's a couple of under 12s floating around. Bellamy wants to grab them as well.
Morocco were beating Madagascar 1-0. I thought that was a film, but anyway, Madagascar. But they've got a team anyway.
Madagascar, Madahuha.
Yeah. Lion King have just beaten that. No, they haven't. Everton retain. Well, Everton are looking at that guy Hackney, but somebody said Everton signed that guy from Southampton last year, the young lad. Dibley.
Tyler Dibley.
And Everton fans, why didn't he play him? You know, players that if you pay 40 million for someone, you got to play him. But that's their problem.
If you've got it, yeah. Right. Okay. So that's the basic. We'll keep an eye on this over the summer. We'll see where it goes. The window opens on the 15th, of June and stays open for 11 weeks.
Just to ask you, Jer, it's been 2 weeks. How many players have we been linked with in 2 weeks?
It's ballpark around, I think, not just in 2 weeks, in the last month and a half, 2 months, I think it's around 30 players' names.
There we go.
So. All right, that's a decent squad. When is the retain list announced?
I don't think we do that anymore. I don't think we do that in the Premier League anymore, Jerry. I think we're past that now. I think we're beyond this. It's beneath us now. We don't have to tell people who we're hanging on to, you know.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. And I thought usually 1st of June we'd hear players out of contract and officially and stuff, but
I'd like to know what's going on with Cairns, Byram, Darlow.
I think we'll probably get little news stories.
I did see a story saying that Liverpool are looking at Meslier as a backup option. It's like if they can find his potential again. But I thought it'd be Lorient back home to restart everything again, but yeah, be interesting to see where they all go. Right.
Is Harris more suited to the French league now, I think?
I think that the brown cords are also suited to the French league.
Yeah, they won't fit in Liverpool.
I wear brown cords.
I know things going in. I got things going in cycles. My dad wore brown cords. I've never ever felt that brown cords were an appropriate pair of pants to wear for anybody ever. Just I'm sorry if you wear brown cords. I apologize.
It's very comfortable.
Yeah, brown though.
And if you rub them together really quickly, they spark.
They do, yeah. Static.
Oh, hit that rubbing.
Listen, I know you two. I know what's going on here. These two are dodging getting into the predictions. They don't want to talk about it. Because he knows that when it gets to 40 minutes, I start getting edgy about time, and we're getting close to 40 minutes. So he's right.
Taking into the car, blow the whistle, and stuff. Yeah.
Right. First things first, Jerry. How confident are you about your predictions?
I think I got within 2 points of what we got. So I think I got about 45, which I'm sure I got some games wrong, but I got a few right. And I think we all had Spurs going down badly. I think, which was wrong. But I think on the whole we weren't miles away. You know, I hadn't got them on 50 points. I hadn't got them on 32 points. So I'm pretty confident.
There was a pattern though, because between the three of us, you can see my pessimism and you can see Paul's optimism. Like they scream at you straight away from the start.
And I was being realistic. Yeah.
You were somewhere in the middle of it going, you never know. Paul, how are you feeling about this?
Listen, we stayed up. I don't care. So kick me if you want. Not bothered.
We did as well as Rob Earnshaw did in these predictions. Right? So I spent most of today cutting out the little W's, D's, and L's from Sky Sports Graphic to rearrange them for the lads. And then what you'll see is the total leads are on when we did this, which was there 8 games to go for all the 4 sides that were competing for that last space, that third bottom space. We'll have the predicted totals, extra points, total points, and then what we actually finished on and where the teams finished in the league. There is a scoring system for this. They get a point for every single prediction they've got right. They get 3 points for predicting the relegated side that went down that third spot. And they get an additional 2 points if they manage to match any of the points totals for each side by the end of the season. So, sorry about that one, Jerry. You're down 2 points already. So here we go. Jerry's first up. So, Jerry, you had predicted that Leeds would pick up an additional 12 points and finish on 45. We picked up 14 points. We finished on 47. You got the results against Wolves, Bournemouth, and Burnley correct. Incorrect was against Manchester United, Spurs, Brighton, and West Ham. Forest did a lot better. Well, 3 points better than you thought they would do. They got an extra win in there somewhere. The draws. That run was really tough for them in the middle, and we thought it would be. Spurs did a lot better than you thought they would. You thought 4 points, they finished on 40. That's the wrong way around. An additional 4 points, between 34 points. Sorry, ignore that there. And then they got an additional 11 points and finished on 41. And West Ham, Jerry, you thought they'd get an additional 6 points. Again, that says 45. I clearly didn't update that graphic. We'll get the pause in a second. So look at the bottom one. So, Jerry, you added 6 on for them, but what we're not interested in that. We're only interested in what you got right and what you got wrong. So You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 correct out of 28 matches. How do you feel about that? Ignore those numbers at the bottom.
That's pretty good. That looks like my coupon I ever do in the bookies. And if you look in theory, we were drawn at one stage with Brighton and West Ham, so I should get points for that. And the draw at Bournemouth, losing to Man United. I don't think I was at the time. It seemed the form said it, so I'm really glad to get that one wrong.
You had you actually Spurs finishing on 34 points, and you had West Ham finishing on 35 points. So you had Spurs go down.
Yeah, well, when we did these, Spurs were awful, and then they got that Villa game where Villa should give us back our goal that we give them that day on the back of that. That was just, that changed everything, that Villa game.
It did.
And West Ham, they had their chances. They did really well against Brentford that day, and they lost 3-0 on the Arsenal VAR. So it's fine margins, but 10 out of 28. That's probably not a million miles. And probably the odd draw was a win, or win was a draw, or lose was a draw.
It's a respectable number, Gerry. I did. I know exactly what I've done here. I copy and pasted that bottom row, and I forgot to fix the number on the end of each of them. So that's what's going on there. But I'm pretty sure
average. It's like my life. It's what my other half would say. Pretty average. Yeah.
Midland's fine. Midland is fine. Paul, you predicted Leeds to pick up an additional 15 points. Ever the optimist. Leeds picked up 14 points, so you weren't a million miles away from that. Wins against Wolves, you got right. Wins against Burnley, you got right. You didn't get a lot else right outside of that, but you got the points pretty close to being correct, which is ultimately all that matters, and the position as well. Forest, you were most accurate with Forest. Burnley, Chelsea, Newcastle, and Manchester United games you got right. Spurs, again, you went, no, you're not winning any games. L's the entire way. You got 2 of them right. You said they'd pick up no more points and finish on 30. They picked up 11 and finished on 41, which I think tells you how good a job De Zerbi actually did in there, considering that we all thought they do versus that. And then West Ham United, you thought they'd pick up an additional 4 points, but you actually got 3 results correct. And they finished with 10 extra points on 39, and you got their relegation. I did okay with Leeds. I got 9. I said Leeds would get 9 additional points and finish on 42. Ever the pessimist, just about survive. I marked everybody down on this. Leeds finished on an extra 14 points on 47. Villa, I thought would get an additional. Forest would get an additional 4 points. They got an additional 12. Spurs, I thought would get an additional 8 points. They got an additional 11. And West Ham United, I thought would get an additional 5. They got an additional 10. What I can reveal is that Paul 14, Gerry 11.
Lose points in Spain.
You can appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport.
I know.
So there we go. But an interesting end to the season. We'll do a full season review probably next week, and we'll have a look back at the whole thing and break it into different sections. But and we got the end of season awards for the Leeds View as well. So if you're not aware, if you go into the post section of the YouTube channel, you'll see a question there. Just send in your nominees. We'll make a short list, and I'll start putting polls out this week for everyone to vote. And then next week we will do the player of the year, moment of the year, goal of the year, and signing of the season. And we can get stuck into all of that.
Looking at those games and those, it just brings back the stress of watching Crystal Palace v West Ham on a Monday night, or Spurs. It just is the stress of it all.
I stopped being stressed after we beat Man U. That's when I stopped being stressed.
You weren't that stressed before, to be fair.
I was, and it was, and I still maintain it. It was after I watched us dog walk Chelsea at Ellen Road. Just something in my water just said we are not getting relegated with these guys on the pitch.
That cup semi-final weekend where everybody won. That sort of gave me a bit of a jolt. But I think when West Ham lost at Brentford, I think we're okay. I think we're okay.
They lost to Newcastle. I was like, great, that's that.
Yeah. It was.
They were really poor in that game.
I don't want to do that again. I'd like a less stressful year next year, please.
I think we all would.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll see where the signings go. We've got a couple more days for the window open, another week or so before the window opens. Opens exactly the same time as the World Cup starting. So unless you're signing players that are not playing at a World Cup, no one's signing anybody till after the World Cup. So we'll have to put up with that. I can't believe the World Cup is only a week or two away at this stage now as well. That's
next Thursday. It will cost a lot of money to go to the World Cup. It will cost a lot of money for anybody. Yeah.
And I worry about that. I worry about the pitches that have you seen the pitches that they've been laying as well?
Oh my God.
With the ball bouncing on it.
what's really interesting about this as well, there's an investigation being done. Spurs are doing it, and Real Madrid are both doing it into their retractable pitches. Because both sides have had a ton of ACL injuries, and they've been looking at. There's usually 10 centimeters of soil beneath the pitch on a normal grass surface. On these, it's 3 centimeters. And what's happening is because it's so dense and compact, the studs are getting caught in the soil and not coming out, and they're twisting their knees. So both sides are going to have to look at their retractable pitches, and then there's a ton of those retractable pitches in America as well, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Well, you've got the American football stuff. Like the MetLife Stadium is a false pitch, isn't it? So it's that weird 3G, 4G, whatever style of pitch you want to call it, that obviously you can't use for normal football. So I've been watching them lay it, and it's just terrible how they're laying it down. It's going to be not good.
I hope they don't get moles. Yeah, let's take it back to where we started.
Dynamite, I'm telling you. Dynamite, say you fix it.
Those are not foreign moles.
Yeah. Massive thanks to everyone for joining us tonight and supporting the channel. You can like and subscribe if you want to help us. You can check out Paul over here on the Leeds Therapy. His details are down below. Gerry is also appearing on Talking Leeds as well. You can check him out over there. Again, link down below. Their X handles are down in the yellow boxes below them as well. And just a massive thanks to the lads. You can check out all their content and what they've been doing over the last week or so. I encourage you to go and support them as well. And if you're listening on the audio platforms, if you could give us a channel rating and a follow, we would be very grateful for that. Have a great rest of your day or evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. See you later. Bye.
Come on, Leeds.